Why do we often find ourselves following the crowd, even when we don't necessarily agree with the direction it's heading? This question may have crossed your mind at some point, and it's a fascinating one to explore. Today, we're delving into the concept of social conformity, a phenomenon that's as old as humanity itself. Every day, in countless ways, we see social conformity in action. It's in the clothes we wear, the foods we eat, the music we listen to, and even in the way we speak. We often find ourselves aligning our actions, beliefs, and attitudes with those of the people around us, sometimes without even realizing it. But why do we do this? Is it simply a matter of wanting to fit in, or is there something more profound at play? Well, it turns out that this tendency to conform is deeply ingrained in our human nature. From an evolutionary perspective, conforming to the group was often a matter of survival. Early humans who were able to work together in groups had a better chance of finding food, warding off predators, and surviving in harsh environments. Today, the stakes may not be as high, but the instinct to conform remains. Conforming can help us feel accepted and secure within our social groups. It can also serve as a kind of mental shortcut, helping us make decisions quickly without having to think too deeply about them. After all, if everyone else is doing it, it must be the right thing to do, right? But conformity isn't always beneficial. Sometimes it can lead us to make poor decisions or to ignore our own values and beliefs. It's a complex, double-edged sword, one that psychologists have been fascinated with for years. So, while it may seem like a simple question, the answer to why we follow the crowd is anything but straightforward. It's a question that touches on the very core of what it means to be human, and it's one that we'll continue to explore in our journey through the world of social psychology. As it turns out, our tendency to conform has been a subject of interest in the field of psychology for decades. Let's delve into a famous case study that puts a spotlight on our urge to conform: the Asch conformity experiments. Solomon Asch, a Polish-American psychologist, embarked on a series of studies in the 1950s to understand the effects of peer pressure and majority influence on individuals. Here's how the experiment was set up. Each group consisted of 7 to 9 young men. All but one of them were in on the experiment, acting as Confederates. The participants were shown a series of lines of different lengths and were asked to match the length of a given line with one of 3 other lines. The catch? The Confederates were instructed to occasionally give obviously wrong answers. You might think that the real participant would stick to their guns, confidently giving the correct answer. But here's where it gets interesting. In over a third of the trials, participants chose the incorrect line, aligning their answers with the group's, even though it was plainly clear that the group was wrong. And overall, about 75% of participants conformed at least once. Why did these individuals, who could clearly see the correct answer, choose to go with the crowd instead? Well, interviews conducted afterwards revealed a variety of reasons. Some said they doubted their own perceptions. Others admitted they didn't want to stand out or be ridiculed. The Asch experiments demonstrated a powerful truth about human nature. We humans are social creatures. We have a deep-seated need to fit in, to belong. And sometimes, this need can be so powerful, it can override our own judgment. It can make us choose to go along with the group, even when we know the group is wrong. But let's not forget, conformity is not always a negative thing. It can foster unity and cooperation. It can help societies function smoothly. It's when conformity becomes blind, when it suppresses individual judgment and critical thinking, that's when it becomes a problem. So the Asch experiment showed us that the power of the group can sometimes override our own judgment. But why do we conform? What's happening in our minds that makes us follow the crowd? This is where the fascinating world of psychology comes into play. Firstly, let's talk about the desire to fit in, or as psychologists call it, normative social influence. It's part of our human nature. We're social creatures. We crave acceptance and fear social rejection. We want to belong, to be part of a group, to feel connected. So we conform to societal norms and expectations, often subconsciously, in order to feel accepted and to avoid feeling ostracized. Now, let's delve into the fear of social rejection, also known as negative social sanction. This fear can be incredibly potent. It's not just about avoiding awkwardness or embarrassment. It's a primal fear, rooted in our evolutionary past when being ostracized from the tribe could mean death. So we conform, we follow the crowd to protect ourselves from this deep-seated fear of rejection. Then, there's the belief that the group knows better, a phenomenon psychologists refer to as informational social influence. When we're unsure, when the situation is ambiguous or the answer isn't clear, we look to others for guidance. We assume that the group must know better, and so we conform, not because we're weak or mindless, but because we're trying to make the best decision based on the information available to us. But don't forget, conformity isn't just about blind obedience or mindless following. It's also about harmony, unity, and cooperation. It's about learning from others, about adapting and evolving as a group. It's about creating a shared identity, a sense of belonging, a community. It's essential to remember that while conformity can lead to negative outcomes like groupthink or the suppression of individuality, it's not inherently bad. Without some level of conformity, society as we know it wouldn't exist. So conformity isn't just about following the crowd blindly, it's a complex psychological process. Now you might be wondering, how does all this apply to me and the world I live in today? Well, let's take a look at the world around us. Social conformity is everywhere. It's in the clothes we wear, the food we eat, the music we listen to, and even the language we use. But in the digital age, the power of the crowd has been amplified like never before. Take social media, for instance. It's a platform that allows us to share our lives with others, but it's also a place where trends emerge and spread at lightning speed. One day, a random dance move or a quirky challenge becomes viral, and the next day, millions of people around the globe are doing it. We conform because we want to be part of the trend, to feel that sense of belonging. Fashion is another area where conformity is prevalent. Styles and trends change with the seasons, influenced by celebrities, designers, and influencers. We often find ourselves buying clothes not because we genuinely love them, but because they're in vogue. We conform to the fashion norms because we want to be seen as stylish and up-to-date. Even our political opinions are not immune to conformity. Many of us are swayed by the popular sentiment of our social circles or the media we consume. We often adopt the political opinions of those around us, without necessarily delving into the complexities of the issues ourselves. We conform because it's comfortable, it's easy, and it helps us fit in. So, while the Asch conformity experiments might seem like a thing of the past, the principles they revealed are very much alive and well in today's world. From the clothes we wear to the political opinions we hold, we are constantly influenced by the crowd around us. In this era of digital connectivity, the power of the crowd is more potent than ever before. It's in our hands, on our screens, shaping our choices and influencing our behavior. It's a fascinating spectacle of human nature, as we dance to the rhythm of the collective. It seems that in many ways our modern world has amplified the power of the crowd. While conformity often gets a bad rap, it's not always a negative thing. In many ways, it's a social glue that holds society together. Imagine if every time you got on a bus, everyone insisted on paying with a different form of currency, or if no one agreed on which side of the road to drive on. Conformity in these cases ensures smooth and efficient functioning. It promotes social harmony and a sense of belonging, helping us feel accepted by our peers and preventing the chaos that could ensue if everyone did only as they pleased. Additionally, conformity can serve as a valuable learning tool. When we are unsure of how to act in a particular situation, observing and imitating others' behavior can provide guidance and reduce uncertainty. It's a shortcut to learning, enabling us to quickly adapt to new environments and cultures. However, like most things, conformity has its downside. When taken to the extreme, it can stifle individuality and discourage critical thinking. We've all heard the phrase, "If all your friends jumped off a cliff, would you?" It's a reminder that following the crowd isn't always the best choice. Conformity can lead to groupthink, a psychological phenomenon where the desire for harmony in a group can result in an irrational or dysfunctional decision-making outcome. The pressure to conform can suppress dissenting viewpoints, discourage creativity, and even lead to unethical behavior. Moreover, excessive conformity can result in a loss of personal identity. When we constantly suppress our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors to match those of the group, we risk losing touch with our authentic selves. So, it's a balancing act. While conformity can bring about social cohesion and ease of learning, it's essential to maintain our unique perspectives and critical thinking skills. It's about finding that sweet spot between fitting in and standing out, between learning from others and thinking for ourselves. So, while the crowd can guide us, it's important to remember the value of our individual perspectives. Well, that concludes this episode of Human Nature Explained, your go-to destination for unraveling the complexities of human nature. Our channel delves deep into the intricacies of what it means to be human, offering easy-to-understand insights, engaging discussions, and fascinating explorations into the realms of psychology, sociology, and beyond. Like and subscribe to join us on a journey of discovery as we seek to understand the fundamental aspects of human behavior, emotions, cognition, and relationships. Through a blend of informative videos, we aim to provide you with a comprehensive understanding of the forces that shape our thoughts, actions, and interactions. Here at Human Nature Explained, we believe that by exploring and understanding human nature, we can gain valuable insights into ourselves and others, fostering empathy, compassion, and personal growth. So, if you're ready to embark on a journey of self-discovery and enlightenment, hit subscribe and join our community of curious minds today. Until next time.